Welcome to the Junkyard Rat Show. I'm Junkyard Rat from I don't know what part of San Francisco. It's confusing. Are we in Soma? Mission? It's not the Excelsior.
It's spin the wheel of misfortune and find out where you are in San Francisco.
There's homeless people everywhere outside.
Unhoused.
Unhoused.
Exactly.
I'm unhoused.
Politically correct.
I'm unhoused. I live in a condo, so I'm unhoused. Welcome. We've had a crazy week, and today's guest is Alex, who's back. How you doing, Alex?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty well. I think I'm mentally not here just because I woke up like an hour ago.
Did you like sleep? Did you go to sleep like at 6 a.m? Or?
No, it's like more like 4 in the morning. Yeah, something like that.
Are you like partying all night or?
No, I'm a comic, so I work all night.
Do the clubs?
Is that what we're calling it now?
Yeah, we're calling it work. Okay, I'm not having fun. I'm.
Do the clubs?
That's right. If you're not having fun, it is work.
Actually, somebody told me about some after hours places in the city, like nearby. Like some Uber driver was telling me, like there's a couple of after hours places out here nearby here. Do you go to any after hour places or?
No, that's reserved for work. I work after hours.
Oh yeah, I heard you got like an open mic. You're hosting an open mic these days.
Yeah, I'm hosting open mic at !bar. It's in Soma, Harriet Street. I don't fucking know the address. I still don't remember it.
Do you like?
Don't ask me that.
How do you keep track of people? Their 5 minutes. Do you actually check time or do you wing it?
Yeah. Okay. So I didn't do that like consistently. I was like, oh shit, I actually have to time people, and then like I forgot to like do that whole timing. So I was like, oh fuck, what do I do? And when they run overtime, I'm like, okay, I could just go there and be like, wrap it up, you know, something like that. But I wasn't doing it with the first person, so they got lucky. But then I realized, okay, I need to time them and then do the little flash thingy. But yeah, I feel like I'm cosplaying as a host most of the time rather than hosting. I'm like, I am someone who is hosting, but it's not me. I'm like wearing their skin.
But do you like hosting? How is it? How many times have you hosted? Like once, twice, or?
Yeah, I hosted twice now. I was gone for last week because I had to do something else. But I got a good friend of mine to host. So it went from like a petite Asian to just like some balding white guy. And like
you got
at first
Paul
it was,
to host, or?
yeah, I got a. No, I got a fully bald white guy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like he's like kind of balding, but like I got a full bald guy, you know.
So do they give you free drinks or what?
Yeah,
what do they?
yeah.
How does this work? I mean, I used to run an open mic, but I would never keep track of people's time. I would just wing it. I got bored. So if you weren't doing well, I would just give you 3 minutes. But people got mad. They got mad. They didn't like it. They didn't like it.
Yeah. Okay. So.
Yeah,
okay.
What is that about?
It's the open mic is at Friday. Sign-ups are at 5. Starts at 5:30. The address is 312 Harriet Street, San Francisco. Yep.
Yeah, it's actually called the question mark bar. It's not actually a question mark. It's actually written out question mark bar 312 Harriet Street here in San Francisco.
It's weird. I don't know where that's at because I thought I knew every bar in the city after all these years.
Yeah, this is one you probably haven't been kicked out of.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
true.
yeah, that's very good. That's a
That's
good
true.
thing. Yeah.
A friend of mine got booted out of a sesh. He got booted from a sesh, but yeah, I haven't been like kicked out of a bar in years. I used to heckle people. I'm a bad heckler. I get bored because after a while, like the open mics, you sit around, you wait, and then after a while, you get bored. I don't do open mics because of that. Every Friday, I'm at Kel's in North Beach and stuff. But even then, I feel like heckling people and stuff. Do you get any hecklers at your open mics? Or?
Yeah, and then I just tell them you're a fucking loser.
Does that work?
Yeah, it
You're a
does.
fucking loser.
According to another comic, they said don't do that. Don't tell a heckler you're a fucking loser. But I'm like, well, I have petite Asian privilege, so I can get away with that.
You can get away with it.
Yeah, I could totally get away with it. But like, if I was like a more intimidating person,
Why don't I ever get away with that?
Yeah, because like you just look intimidating, but for me, they're just like this like small chick is just saying shut the fuck up.
You gotta do it with a smile, though, yeah.
Yeah, like, shut the fuck up, you fucking loser.
Yeah, fucking loser. I love it when women talk shit with a smile at you.
Yeah.
Like, did you just say that to me? What?
Or like I say something like really like unexpected, but I think it's because of my height. Yeah, like it's because of my height that they don't find it to be, like intimidating. They find that to be kind of funny. So
You're like
I
5 foot or 5'1", or
I think I'm under 5 foot.
are you like 5'3", 5 foot, 5 foot?
I don't know actually.
Do you?
I don't know.
You don't know.
I don't know. I don't know my own height.
I think I'm like 6 foot 5'11" and stuff. So do you like hosting an open mic or?
Yeah, I do it. It's always a fun time. Yeah, like I'm always super supportive of like everyone. I like people say I bring a lot of energy to my to like a lot of like my hosting, but it sounds like I'm on a lot of cocaine. Like when you say like, "Oh, Alex, you have so much energy. I love that." I'm like, are you accusing me of being on coke? Or that my mom was using while having me? Either way, that's probably why I'm so fucked up.
That could be it and stuff. Do you know Alessandra? Was this Alessandra's open mic or?
Yeah, I think so. And then she quit, and then I think I like negotiated with like the owner about like maybe bringing it back again, but in like a different time, so it's like happy hour.
Yeah, she was on my show.
Oh,
She was on here
cool.
one time, Alessandra. Yeah.
No, that's awesome. I don't know her.
Yeah, she's like I think she's Italian. I think she might be in Italy right now or something.
All the above.
All the
Yeah.
above.
I don't know her.
With the
Somewhere.
name like last name like Valentini.
Valentini, yeah. Is that
Yeah,
even
you
a
would
real?
think that she would be
Alessandra Valentini.
Alessandra Valentini. And
Hell
she
yeah.
always calls me Bella. Or
Yeah.
Bella. Or yeah, one of those.
Mm-hmm.
Like love or
So you were at Mo Green's on Friday? How did that go?
Yeah. It went really well. I really, I don't know. There was something about it that was just, it just felt really rewarding when they were just kind of laughing.
Did they hook you up with weed or what? Did they give you something?
No, I just got contact high.
They don't give the comedians any
They-
free weed. Or?
they used to. But she doesn't partake as much. So she doesn't partake.
Oh no, I don't try to do a lot before I perform.
Right, but like the times that I've performed at Mo Green's, they give you pot too.
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't know if they gave you pot. That's what he's asking.
Like they shared around some, but I just said no.
Oh, you're just gotcha.
But then I got high anyways because like it was just
Contact high.
Yeah.
yeah. I was like whatever.
The funniest room I've never really thought I've ever gotten a contact high before I worked that one room. Not Mission Cannabis, the other one you mentioned earlier.
Oh, Union Station?
Union
The
Station.
Union Station, yeah.
So Union Station has a crazy air filtering system.
Yeah.
I was like the second comic up at a show there, and the room was so thick I probably wouldn't have been able to see you. from here.
That is
And
good.
then who went up before me? Cat. Cat went up before me. Cat
yeah.
Pignotti or whatever, and Terry. And anyway, there was a couple comics up before me, but the room got so thick you couldn't see across it. And then I mentioned it when I went up, and they hit a switch, and it evacuated like all the smoke out of the room
Yeah.
in less than a minute.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, it was so clear, and it was actually cool in there because of the AC or whatever. But it just sucked it out.
Yeah, with those lounge areas, they gotta have like really good infiltration systems and stuff
Right.
to even open up. Like that place just got built. Like it wasn't. No, actually, that's the first the dispensary that was there before Union Station was the first dispensary I ever bought weed at legally because I bought a weed card like a couple blocks from there years ago, and they sent me to that place. But I don't think there was a lounge area there.
The place you went and got wrecked, was it a place that you literally, it was like an older building and you had to go through these stairs and there was a ton of people in line waiting to get their cards?
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
right by there. Yeah.
I know which place you're talking
I used
about.
to pay like what was it, $50 a year?
Yeah, you pay $50 a
Yeah.
year and you would go and see their doctor, but you literally waited in a line and you were going up and down these like wooden stairs and down these
Yeah.
halls, and then you stood in line with a ton of people.
Yeah.
Like the first person you gave your money and your ID to and filled out your paperwork, and then like you still waited in line, and by the time you got to the doctor, it was like they kind of just looked at you and said, "Yeah, you need a card."
Yeah. The first time I did it, I really acted serious. The third time I was like, I don't know, just give me my card.
Yeah.
Don't ask me all these questions like you're a real doctor.
Well,
Like,
yeah, because in the beginning it was kind of like that.
You got mental issues? Yeah.
You almost had to anything supporting it in
Yeah.
the beginning when you first got a legal cannabis card. You did kind of have to go in there and state why you're
Yeah.
getting your meds. It was kind of like you were going to a real doctor's appointment in a way. Even with me, I think I showed whatever meds I was taking that I was trying to eliminate, which were opioids.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, I want off these damn things.
Oh, yeah. I know a lot of people use weed to get off the opioids.
Oh yeah.
The opioids.
Yeah, but that's like trying to quit cigarettes by saying, "Hey, every time I would have a cigarette, I'm just gonna light up a joint."
I do.
People smoke like 20 cigarettes in a day. They smoke a pack of cigarettes a day. You can't smoke 20 joints a day.
I get asked for
You'd
cigarettes.
be
all the
fucking so
time.
tired. You'd be like falling asleep after joint number 4.
Yeah.
I've smoked a lot of joints in a day. Like, what's the most joints you ever smoked in a
A
day?
lot. Probably damn near that much.
I used to be. I can roll really well the joints. I'm a really good roller and stuff. That's one of my gifts from God.
I think like the most joints I've ever actually rolled and smoked in a day is something at one of these events, like HempCon,
Oh yeah, HempCon, yeah.
or even I just went to Emerald Cup a couple years ago, and so like every booth you went to, they're like, here's a whole bunch of our pot. Here's some rolling papers in a machine. Roll.
Well,
And so you went to every booth, you rolled a joint, you smoked it, and you go, oh yeah, tasty. And so you found yourself smoking nearly 20 joints in a day.
I can't roll like the big papers. I have trouble if the papers were like really big. I have trouble rolling that shit. I can do
like
the raw
king-size
paper.
one, like,
yeah, I can do the smaller ones
Got that
really
king
well
size.
and stuff. I'm not really sure, but yeah, like I learned how to roll when I got a roller. I figured out what the roller was.
Okay,
trying
then
to
you're
do.
not like a roller.
You're not, yeah,
Yeah,
you're
you're
not.
not
yeah,
a
really.
roller if you just like.
Well, it's like
yeah.
even I have cones in there. I have cones,
Oh,
but
yeah.
that's not really rolling either.
Yeah,
No,
it's like,
Stuffing a cone with some
Yeah, the
pot.
cones. Yeah, you just like dump it in the top.
I'm
and
like that
stuff.
doesn't count.
No, you actually have to have the art of rolling. I used to be able to twist a good one with one hand. Once I had it set up, I could just go like that and go.
I have trouble with the crutch thingies too. Like I don't even put a crutch on there. That
Oh, like a filter?
yeah,
Like
the
the cones?
filter. I don't even put the filter.
I always
the
put a filter on there.
The filter's like it gives me trouble. The filter
It's
gives
not
me
that
trouble.
hard. Like you just do a
So-
little W and then just go.
Here's some visual aids. Here's cones.
The cones are great. I used to steal cones from dispensary lounges. I won't
Here's
mention.
papers
Did you
with
just like admit that on fucking camp?
They don't
And
care
there's papers with filters built into
Yeah,
them.
yeah, like
because
this is
you
what I
know they're
like.
so
And then there's your
expensive.
machine.
They're so expensive that I used to walk out with free rolling papers, lighters, whatever.
Whatever they would give you for free.
Well, yeah, they would have all this stuff there for you to roll. Like I never took anything really valuable, like anything expensive. But yeah, I would walk.
From what? From these events or what?
No, from the lounges, not
from
the
the
events,
lounges.
but the lounge areas. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've gone to lounges where they have like grinders out there, and it's like,
Oh,
wait,
yeah.
we're in San Francisco,
Yeah,
and
the
you've got
grinder.
a tray of grinders out there, and each grinder's worth like $30.
Yeah, at Mo Greens they got plastic grinders.
Yeah,
I guess
smart.
people walked out or
You
they
think?
walked out with that.
With a $30 metal grinder every
Yeah.
time.
I have a nice grinder though. It's a little one, but I bring it out just to impress people on how nice it looks.
I used to love my little 3-level grinder. You get the flour, and then you get the whatever, and then you got the keef.
Oh
at
yeah, in the
bottom.
bottom, the
Yeah.
keep in the bottom. Yeah.
That used to be the deal, man.
Yeah, I mean Mo Greens is one of my favorite spots. Like I actually went there like the second day that place opened up.
Yeah, I was there early on and actually tried to forge a relationship with them. It's an okay
Oh, yeah.
dispensary. It's right here. I'm glad they finally got some comedy in there.
Yeah.
Just like a lot of these clubs, man, they need to. So it really depends. You know, the state of affairs here in San Francisco, we have an independent comedy club owner.
Oh yeah.
And so everything
Okay.
affects his business, just like if another studio opened up in my backyard, how it would affect my business. And so I get it, but I think there's enough room in this town for everybody, right?
You know what? These places need TV so I can watch sporting events.
You don't see any sports bars in San Francisco anymore?
Well, no, I'm talking about like dispensary lounges. Where
Oh,
I used to go to the Green Door back in the day.
because they don't want you in there too
They
long.
don't want like I don't know. I think the Barbary Coast once in a while it's got sporting events. I think the Green Door has like sporting events.
I used to like going to the Green Door because they actually had a nice lounge with multiple TVs
Yeah.
and like pool tables and stuff like that where they wanted you to hang out.
Yeah.
They wanted you to stay a while. What was it? Relief. We
Relief.
used to go to the game board game day.
Oh,
like
yeah, that-
Tuesday used to have
Yeah.
like board games, and you would go there after doing a set somewhere and go there,
Yeah.
and every 10 minutes they would come out with pre-rolls.
On Wednesday night at Mo
They'd go,
Green,
here you go. Here's a joint. Here's a
they
joint.
got trivia night at Mo Green.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so that would be cool. So yeah, so I know somebody that does the trivia. I know somebody that does bongo bingo,
Oh yeah, the Bongo Bingo. Yeah.
which is kind of fun.
Yeah, he had a show here for a while, didn't he?
No, he's done different guest appearances, and me and him did a show at Mission Cannabis Club.
Yeah, that guy.
We did a
DJ
podcast,
Van.
which was really cool.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's cool.
he used to work at the aquarium and stuff.
Oh, you're talking about Dan Carcosa.
Yeah, because I knew his ex-boyfriend. I used to ask his ex-boyfriend how it felt to have your boyfriend come home smelling like fish all the time. Was that a
Oh,
problem?
he's been cheating on
Was
you
that
with a
a-
woman?
was that-
What are you talking about?
Yeah, that's what
Is that what you're getting to? Is that what
Yeah.
you're getting at?
Is that you got cut?
Well, yeah, I mean,
You
Yeah.
flipped a hetero?
they're a gay
What's up, you do a
couple.
hetero?
They're a gay couple, but I'm like, what do you think? Do you think he's cheating when he comes home smelling like fish?
Well,
every
that's like
night?
my old joke. Like if somebody was giving me oral sex and she spit out my dick and goes menthols,
Yeah, man.
that was like my old joke.
Somebody told
You've
me
been with somebody. I don't smoke Newports. I got brand loyalty.
you buy like your stepdad a bunch of cheap cigarettes, don't you?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
The street cigarettes.
From the little nice Asian ladies outside that always say hi to me every single morning.
Do you feel bad that you buy him cheap cigs? I mean,
Yeah.
He's gonna buy them. He's gonna buy them regardless. He's gonna buy cigarettes, and so I might as well get them for half the price.
hell yeah, you could roll your own, couldn't you?
Yeah, he also is a senior, or he's a senior and a vet, and so I've had him partake with cannabis, but I usually have to sit there with him, you know. But he doesn't smoke often. Like I think he smoked a joint. He smoked half a joint with me about 10 months ago.
Somebody told me that they put like a bull cum in the Red Bulls.
So what?
the bull semen. He said the reason all the caffeine is, and then
it's because
I
it's bull
believed
semen?
them. And then I did a whole
Dude, you're so fucking gullible.
I did a whole
Yes,
set
yes.
about it. Like
Yeah.
I did a whole set about it on Friday.
Like, I actually believe that, like, genuinely.
Well, I don't know if it was true or not, but I thought it was funny. So I
Okay.
talked about it, and then I'm like, at first I was offended, but then this is San Francisco. I don't want to look homophobic because if they told me it was cow semen in the Rebel, would I be offended by that? But then my friend who runs the show got mad at me. I got lectured the whole
Yeah.
way home. So, and it turns out it was all a lie. That wasn't even true. That wasn't even true.
You know, I got like misconstrued because I used something like similar to that. I have like this bit about Skrillex. Do you know who Skrillex is?
Yeah, he's a rapper, isn't he?
No,
He's a
He's
DJ.
a DJ.
He's a DJ?
Yeah. So this guy, like, he made fun of my age because, like, I didn't know who Skrillex was.
Oh, yeah.
He's from like the 2010s.
You should have said, "I'm gonna make fun of you because you know who Skrillex is."
Yeah.
But he was like saying like Skrillex was the shit during high school, but you know, you don't know it because you're really young. And I made a whole bit about like I thought he was some guy from the Bush administration and he was like the Chamber of Commerce. It kind of landed because I like asked it out like a joke, and for every single time I'll bring up Skrillex, I made sure the joke landed to ask a random person like in an open mic or like at the bar, be like, "Hey, can you just say no, you fucking loser?" to
Yeah.
me? Just like it's a planned thing, but like just say no, you fucking loser, and then I'll do like a whole like crying and shame thing. Like I'll drop to the floor and pretend to cry because I didn't know who Skrillex was.
So does your acting come out in your comedy? Do you act
Yeah.
out? Do you do a lot of act outs?
Yeah, I do a lot of act outs. Like, so that was like an act out bit where like someone would be like, "No, you fucking loser," and I'll pretend to cry and be like. So for a while, I was very confident with who Skrillex was. I was like, Skrillex from the Bush administration. He's the Chamber of Commerce, and then I'll do like a whole bit about how I thought he was the reason for the 08 crash.
Which Bush administration? There's like two of them. Wait, are you talking about the first one or the
Yeah,
second?
the second one.
The second one. I mean, there was like a rave this weekend out here, wasn't there? There was a rave in San Francisco, or
A rave?
yeah.
There's always a rave in San Francisco.
Yeah,
I-
there's always a rave.
I think
but-
there was a rave near what is it called, like the Embarcadero area or something.
I'm not sure. Like, if you're asking me because I'm young, then you're asking the
Uh-huh.
wrong person.
I was thinking like you never even voted for a presidential election, so
No, I don't give a shit.
are you gonna vote this time? Are you like registered or?
Probably not.
Oh,
Mostly
yeah?
because, like I said, I don't give a shit.
I always fill out the ballot, but I never send it in. I get lazy, or I get paranoid. I'm thinking somebody's gonna look at my ballot and
Yeah.
judge me for it.
And you're a comedian, so they're probably gonna do a red scare.
Yeah,
Try to cuss you out. Like
I always
many
tell them
others.
because they want me to give my own stamp, and I'm like, I wanna waste a stamp on a ballot.
Well, like, here's the thing. I feel like, yeah, it's like our like civic duty to vote and shit. But I'm a political science major, so I'll give you the detail and say it just means nothing.
So what do you think about the whole Biden thing? Or Biden stepping down? Or...
Oh, yeah, I don't really have an opinion on that because when that happened, I was trying to like draft a script, or like I was trying to clean up my short film, right? Like the script for that.
Oh yeah.
And I just like heard about that on the news. I was like, "What the fuck?
Yeah.
No way. This is real?" And then I told my writer, like my co-writer, I was like, "Hey, Biden just dropped out.
I know. I
And
think
we're writing a horror flick. Like, this is kind of weird. Like,
I think it's the first time in American history that a crackhead convinced the president to step down
yeah.
because his son's on crack. People didn't think that joke.
And then he's like, I'm gonna pass it to
I
a
know.
black woman.
I bet he told his dad. He said if you step down, I promise never to smoke crack again.
Here's your joke. Your joke is this has to be the first time in history that a crackhead has talked sense into his father.
Yeah.
And his father listened.
Just stop. Just
Yeah.
stop.
Okay.
Now's a good time.
I live in a senior
That's what he's
community.
saying to his dad.
So they're upset over Biden because, they're seniors. They're like, they don't think that's right to push them out. But, I think what happened is, did you ever see the video, the Juneteenth video of Biden dancing?
No, not really.
I think that's what
Yeah,
happened.
you mean the lack of Biden dancing?
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like it's
Yeah.
not really him dancing. It's more.
Him standing still and everybody else dancing around
They
him.
set him up with that video because they should have never filmed that. Like,
Yeah, no, that sounds
I
cursed.
think I said afterwards that, as a white guy, I would have felt really kind of awkward dancing
yeah.
to the Juneteenth music too. They would have been like, "Look at him, he has no rhythm at all." And I said,
Yeah.
"Yes, I'm white." Thank you very
Juneteenth
much.
is like it's like a brand. It wasn't even that big. It's like the last couple of years, it's become bigger and bigger and stuff. So how's your script going? Are you gonna put us in your movie?
No, but I might put other comedians on for like. So when I was writing the script, I realized that there was so much more story to tell, in like a kind of like an anthology. So there's like one that's like set in a psych ward, and there's another one which is like the aftermath of something terrible happening. So it's kind of follows the theme of like women who kind of have these really bad sexual traumatic experiences, and how they cope with it and how they deal with it. So for this one, we're gonna talk about like a woman's scorn, right? Like we're not gonna do a backstory on her, but we can allude that like she probably had something bad happen to her, and that's why she's out for blood with a lot of these like nice guys who are like incels, like that archetype that you kind of see on the internet. Yeah, and the second one is gonna be in a psych ward of like kind of like an abuse survivor and someone who's been through a lot, and she's in a psych ward and she's trying to repress her memories. So that's gonna be like about repression, and the third one is gonna be about acceptance or moving on. And I want that person to be a comedian, like the main character to be a comedian. So I do plan on putting like a lot of comedians in that film because I feel like the way comedians talk like to like each other is very special, and I want to showcase that in film.
Yeah, comedians are crazy when they talk to each
Yeah,
other.
like we're fucking crazy. I never realized that because when I talk with like my friends before I got into comedy, it was like kind of different, but then once I started taking comedy more seriously, they're like, "Whoa, you kind of changed, like Alex. Like you can talk to a person who's basically like snorting some coke in the bathroom, and you could just like have a conversation about your UTI with her. Like, who does that? And I'm like, oh, me, because like I do that on stage. So I could talk about my UTI while she's doing something very private, right? And I'm like, yeah. So like I feel like I've kind of changed like as a person, like I bring up my UTI at every set, at every open mic. I even did it at that book show,
You
like,
got cured, didn't you? Your UTI.
Oh,
Are you
I don't
better
even
now?
know. I don't
Paul
even
wants
know.
to know.
I don't even,
Paul wants to know if you're good or not.
I don't even know.
I was more interested in the cocaine than the UTI.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm at that age.
Paul was talking about cocaine when I first got here. So I'm like, you're not gonna share the coke with Paul.
Yeah, but
Don't
like,
give me any coke though.
No, that was the other person, and I definitely don't need you to share the
No,
Yeah.
but it's like,
Don't share the UTI.
Hey, come in the bathroom. I got a little
The
bump for you.
UTI.
Really? Coke? No, UTI.
yeah, like she'll be just like, she was like snorting coke like in private, and I was like, hey, do you want to
Yeah.
talk about my UTI right now? Like, I'd be kind of in pain right now. Like,
Yeah.
my urethra is like burning. and she's like, I'm doing something.
If you have a urethra,
Do you go to the
burning for
free
more than 4
clinic,
hours,
or-
please see a physician.
The Haight Ashbury Free Clinic or something.
No, I just try to like deal with it on my own, which wasn't really a good idea because I thought it would just go away. But before like I perform, I would want to pee every moment, right?
Yeah.
So like I'll look at the list. I'll be like, hey dude, like where am I on the list? And I'll be like, okay, I still have time. So I will go to the bathroom. I go back and I look at the list and I'll go to the bathroom again. And I kept on going back. And some of the comics were like, yo, I think you need to get that shit checked out.
Oh yeah.
But I only got it checked out when a guy told me to do so.
Oh yeah, one of your boyfriends. He's like,
No, he was just like a regular nurse who is also a comedian. Shout out to you, Kevin. He was like, yo, I think you need antibiotics.
oh,
Because you can't keep peeing like every single second.
oh damn. How many times were you peeing and stuff?
Dude, I fucking forgot, but like it was just weird. Like I was just like that comic that just took a piss like every single time when someone went up. They're like, "Up next, this person." I'm like, "Okay, that's 5 minutes. I could pee." And then I walk out, and I'm like, "Okay, there's still time." And then another person will go, and then I'll pee.
I actually
Yeah.
drank my urine because I peed in a cup, and I realized that the way I could tell if it was my drink or my urine, the urine is warm, so I could have filled the cup. I could have, oh, it's warm, but I actually drank my urine one time.
Oh, okay. Were you like just in need of water, and then you just saw your urine?
No, like I get lazy when I'm alone, and I have 2 cups and I pee in 1 cup, and
Wait, so you don't even want to move your legs and go to the
well,
bathroom?
no, when you're alone,
Okay.
I don't know. As a man, you can pee anywhere. I peed in my.
Yeah.
I used
No,
to.
I have to squat. Like I have
Yeah.
to like. I remember like after like this like one open mic. It was in the 4th of July, and I was like, "Fuck!" I got out of the party, but I couldn't go back in. I was like, I need to find a bush to pee in. And I have to squat, which is bullshit. Okay, I feel like God did me hella dirty. Should have been more a man. Yeah, I like have a whole tumultuous relationship with a man I don't think exists. But
No, God
whenever,
is a woman, right? Isn't God a woman though?
no, because I got a hard life. A woman will never do that to me. Well, actually, maybe.
Mother Earth is a woman. God is a woman. I don't know. The whole Christianity thing is all bullshit.
Oh,
Because
okay.
God gives birth to the world. So I always thought God was a woman. I don't know. Don't
Yeah,
let
but,
these
a
religions
man-
tell you otherwise.
Yeah, but like we live shitty lives, so God is a man for doing that. Because only a man will do that to you.
You got Buddha, you got all these people, but they're all males. What about a religion that says,
Well, I think that's the reason why. Because like people think like, well, if we all have tough lives,
yeah,
God is not a woman. He's just some fucking asshole like the rest of us.
oh
Like I
yeah,
don't even think he's that special. Like I think he looks like Paul.
Oh, doesn't look that special. He looks like Paul. Wait. I almost took that as an offense. Okay, good.
You
You were
should
good.
No,
think-
that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Like God is just a regular ass dude. He looks like you.
Regular ass dude.
Oh, yeah.
a 21-year-old telling you, you
I'm
don't
a
look
regular ass
special.
dude. All right. That's
Yeah.
the best compliment I have had all week.
Have you been to the movies lately? Have you gone to the movies lately?
Oh, Maxine, like that. We talked about that
I know,
trilogy.
have you
Yeah, it came out.
Have you seen Maxine yet? Or?
No,
you
I
haven't
was
seen
waiting to.
It's been out like for 3 weeks.
I know. I need to go. But like everyone has been telling me like you should go see it because I want to emulate my career. Like
you know
take
the
off.
weird
What
thing?
is Maxine?
It's about. So do you know the movie X? It's the horror flick that came out in like 2022.
No, but that's right. I forgot you're the horror fan.
And then
Yeah. So
there was Pearl. Pearl was
yeah,
the
Pearl.
second one.
Oh,
Yeah.
so I think I remember Pearl, or at least seeing a trailer for it.
Yeah.
but Maxine is like the third one out of the
Gotcha.
the trilogy. Yeah.
It's really good. I saw it. I saw it twice.
Yo, you
I
you
saw it.
liked it? Yo, that's awesome.
I went on a Tuesday where I went to the movie theater in Daly City. And
Yeah, I know that theater.
I saw it twice in one day. It's really good, but Yeah, it's like it's really crazy though, but it's a really good movie. I can't believe you haven't seen it. Like,
Dude, I have not had time. Like, I literally just do stand up because I take it so seriously.
oh
It
yeah,
like I feel like I'm doing something where it's like I do get enjoyment out of it, but I mostly see it as like a way of life that I try to sacrifice a lot of stuff.
yeah,
Um, like I don't know. It's like my family's like, "Why are you out so late at night?" And I was just like, "Work."
oh
Do
yeah.
you not understand? Like I have work. This is very serious stuff, and they're like,
I'm an Uber driver. You should come up with a fake job or something.
"Yeah,
I'm an Uber driver.
no." So I remember last time I told you like I haven't come out as a stand-up comedian. It's a very tough thing to do. Okay,
Yeah,
coming out as a stand-up comedian is not easy. Okay,
I'm
but
Alex, and I'm a stand-up comedian.
yeah, like I had to have that
Hello,
long,
Alex.
tough conversation with
Is
my
there like a
family.
12-step group?
But it's not like you dropped out of school to pursue comedy.
No, I'm doing school and comedy at the same time. I don't know how I'm doing it, but
Well, you're spending your time that you would normally socialize to.
yeah,
Do you keep a notebook?
yeah. I keep a notebook now.
You write your
Um,
jokes and stuff. Or...
I do, but like I don't really like write it fully. So if any guy sees my notebook, they're just gonna be like, "Are you having homicidal thoughts? I think you need help." Here's a number to my psychiatrist.
So you'll write down. Let me capture this right, because every comedian has a different writing style. Some comedians don't even write. They what do you want to call it, almost like record the incident like a court reporter and then go back and try to formulate it, or some improv, or I guess everybody has a method to their madness. But as a writing comedian, it sounds like maybe you get an idea for a premise and you jot it down in your book, and then
Yeah.
how do you flesh out your stuff? Do you flesh it out on paper, or do you flesh it out on stage, or do you both?
Do a little bit of both.
Okay, so where does the initial work come in?
Whenever I'm like alone at night and like I get really bored and somewhat paranoid, and I'll talk about it, and I'll just like jot it down, right? And then I like present it on stage, and I'll be like, okay, maybe I need to rework this or something like
So
that.
you talk it out to yourself. So you might come up with a concept. You'll
Yeah.
talk it out at night. You'll try to flesh out what might be at least a little part of the joke,
Yeah,
and then you'll take that on stage and mess with it.
yeah.
Kind
And
of
then
like
I kind of change it sometimes when it doesn't work out. Most of the time it doesn't work out, so I change it a lot.
I forget what I just, based on what Chris had said earlier.
About the crackhead and Biden.
Yeah,
My crackhead joke with Biden.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
forget how I.
crackhead son.
Oh yeah,
Crackhead.
yeah,
Crackhead
exactly.
son.
So I saw the pieces to the puzzle laying on the table, and all I did was pick them up and put them in a certain order. And so sometimes it's that. Sometimes for me, because I do kind of the same thing you just said, is I might come up with a concept and go, "Oh, that's kind of funny." But if I'm actually somewhere where I can write right then and there, I will write until I'm exhausted on that one thing, and I will go at it from every angle, and then I'll let it sit in my book. It could sit for a day, a week, a year, but usually I give it a little bit of time, and then I go back to it and I read back my notes and I see if I can put myself in that same train of thought and go, "Oh, I know what I was thinking." And if I can kind of do that, then I can read the whole thing again, because I've written as much as I could about that idea without any more, and then exhausted, and then I put the pen down. But I'll read it through again. I'll circle anything that seems pertinent. Sometimes I'll write out 2 or 3 pages on something that's only a 30-second bit, and then I'll go back and read it a day or a week later, and I'll go, okay, here's the pieces what I want to form out of this. That's what I think is funny. Like, like the crackhead giving his father advice kind of thing. So
Yeah.
so if I was farming this podcast and I was looking at a transcript for this podcast, I'd go, oh yeah, there's that one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's whatever. So yeah, sometimes I need to write it all the way out.
Oh, okay.
I don't write anything because
Yeah, no, I do that as well. I write it like all the way out, but like my writing is not as strong, and I feel deep insecurity about that. Like my writing is not as strong, so I try to write like a lot, but then like when I write a lot, it just feels like it's all over the place.
As strong as what, your performing skills?
No, like it's just not as strong as like other comics that's been doing it longer. So I just feel
And
like
so it's a
that.
vulnerability.
Yeah, like I
You're
feel
not confident.
like I just feel such like deep insecurity, but feel confident admitting my insecurities for no fucking reason.
I don't write anything because years ago I went to visit my friend in Canada, and they stopped me at the border. I was driving in, and they looked at my notebook, so they wouldn't let me in. So after that, they told me that we can't tell you can't enter, but if you want your passport, you got to come around and go back to America, right? So they wouldn't let me in. And after that, I haven't written any notebooks. I don't write.
Did you say anything about your notebook?
No, I had a couple of notebooks in my
And
in
they
my
were just kind of
trunk.
looking through stuff.
They
and
went through my trunk. In fact, they cleaned up my car. My car was cleaner
after they went through
after
it.
they went through it than before. But yeah, they wouldn't let my friend was at the Vancouver Film School. So after that, I've never written anything. In fact, one of my friends wanted us to keep like a book about our friendship, and I was like,
Oh,
I ain't
what the
writing
fuck?
shit down.
So you have a real mindset that you just don't want to write it down.
I don't write shit down. No.
So how does
Except on
how does
social
so
media.
how does I already kind of know the answer to this, but I think your viewers want to hear it. How does your stuff come to fruition?
Well, at the beginning, I took a stand-up comedy class in college, so we spent the whole semester writing jokes. And
Did you go to the comedy college?
No, no.
Or
this
are you
was-
talking you took a comedy or a writing class at your college?
On my college, I went
There
to
you go.
Fresno State.
Okay.
But you know, the weird thing is that comedy college is still around.
Yeah, I know.
They do shows at Kel's like on Fridays and no Thursday.
Yeah, because that's how they get people to graduate.
Yeah, I didn't realize the comedy college was still around, but now I do it in my head. Like I think of an idea and then I come up with different ideas and I like write it all in my head.
I think comedy college is really good for someone that doesn't know where the flip to start.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you have no idea, like somebody just drops you off in San Francisco and goes have at it, you could still probably do it really easy, even if you ran into one open mic, better than a comedy college, because if you started going to even one open mic a week,
Yeah.
you would start to learn those things. But you would learn, I don't know exactly what they're teaching in comedy college, but we used to have a writing class. We used to have a writing class where a lot of us comics would get together, and I would even have like different lesson plans, or we would have homework. Then we would come back the next week and share whatever. We would do our sets in front of each other or go through our jokes with each other and see if everybody had an opinion about whatever we were saying. And
Yeah.
so there was stuff that was you can save a lot of time by even just knowing what open mic etiquette is.
Yeah.
Like, don't go on stage, even if you're at a cafe or something, and talk shit about the host, the people that work at the venue itself, or the customers at the venue.
Yeah.
If it's a venue that has food, no gross out humor.
No.
So then I took a beep, and it's like, oh man, really? Did you just say that? And we're serving shepherd's pie? And it's
Yeah.
like, oh, okay.
Oh, but like it's weird because when I started off, like I remember this was a couple of months ago. I asked the bartender if I can talk about her, like politely. I was like, "Hey, can I talk about you?" And I went on stage and I was like, "Yo, I never been here before, but I want to cut off her tits, because I'm so jealous of them and I want to sew them to my skin."
You said that the last time. That was.
That was the first time I've ever went up to that bar.
Oh yeah.
And she laughed at it. She was like, "That was great." Like it was good because like I did the whole weird act that I'm like, "Oh, God, her tits, sew it to my skin," and it like it worked out. Like they bought into the insanity.
But if you were a man, do you think that would have been a
no,
problem?
but I got away with it.
I'm gonna cut off
So
your
do you
tit.
think? So do you think about how jokes are going to make people feel?
Yeah, like I asked him before. I'm like, is that okay if I talk about how?
Right, like
I'm
not
really
not
jealous?
necessarily her, because you asked her permission, and that's
Yeah.
pretty good because most comedians in San Francisco would not ask.
No,
They would just Chris would have just said it, and everybody would have looked at him like, "What a creeper!
Well,
He's
no,
probably some
I've
killer."
never,
or
I've
something."
never said anything.
No,
that
you've never
crazy.
done that. You say other things that
Yeah,
are
yeah.
no filter. You don't get
Yeah,
you don't get violent.
yeah.
But what I'm saying is, a lot of comics would just go up there. Oh, I'd like to do the bartender or whatever.
You know,
No.
I'm a lover. I'm not a fighter. I've never thought about cutting anybody's.
Well,
shit
hence I
off.
just said do the.
Except mine.
instead of-
I would cut mine off. They're
geez.
kind of big and stuff.
Again, my eyes
I'm
are up
thinking
here.
Yeah.
I could like cut off a couple of my titties off, but
And then give it to me, so then like the fat
Yeah.
can be redistributed.
But I'm-
So are
never-
you? So you're looking for people to not only laugh but also feel uneasy?
Yeah, like a little bit, but like also I feel like I'm one of those people that put their heart out on their sleeve. So
Sure.
what I was really trying to get was like I'm really jealous of her
tits.
about how
But you-
hot she is.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
That's a compliment, okay?
Right, right.
But like I take that in and be like, nah, man, like I don't take like jealousy too well.
yeah. Were they like really big? Or
Yeah, they were really big. They were like triple D's.
did you try and get her number afterwards? or-
No.
Have you
You
been
don't
back?
you don't like ask.
Have you
for
been
the-
back, or have you been back to that place?
No, because I came here, you know?
Oh, okay.
It was like down south.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It was in LA.
Yeah, it was,
Oh, that's
in, like,
it.
it was in fake LA.
Fake LA.
Fake LA.
So, do you think it's different, the whole scene out there and here?
Yeah, I feel like the IE is a little bit more insulated. Like when I got here, I was a little bit overwhelmed, to be honest. I didn't like know anyone here. I was just like hitting up those mics, and then like I got booked, and then like I think I got maybe I might get booked for like another show.
Where's our friend at? We haven't seen him in a while. Where's the friend at? The one that sent you here in the first place.
Oh
Colin.
yeah, matter of fact,
Huh.
he's coming back in tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
Okay, yay! But yeah, no, he was like one of the like first people I know. But other than that, I was so overwhelmed with how many comics were here because back in like the IE, there's not a lot of comics. Like
No.
not like in this scene. Like there's just too many, and I get overwhelmed, and I didn't really know anyone until I met like
You're like
Some
2 hours
people-
from LA, right? You're like, the Inland Empire is like, wait, 2.5
yeah,
hours?
it's like an hour-ish drive.
I spent a month in San Bernardino, but it was so hot. I just couldn't do it. I moved to Orange County
no.
because I'm an Angels fan, so I thought I gotta be near my team, right?
Yeah.
But it was like 120, and I was fighting with one of my roommates over the AC. I said, I just can't do this shit.
Yeah.
I can't do that stuff. So yeah, there's actually books you can buy about stand-up comedy. They're really good, teaching you how to write jokes and all that. There's a whole format, but I think you just gotta do. This is one of the art forms you just gotta keep doing it and stuff. You know?
Yeah,
I
it's
also
one of
think
those
it-
you just have to do. Yeah.
I think it's also one of those things where you shouldn't take anybody's advice for so long. And what I mean by that is, I guess if somebody tries to offer you a tag or a joke or whatever, you can go ahead and write it down or do whatever. But I would try to really learn at least the first few months like you have on your own and try to develop at least so much material that no one else has any input about other than you thinking it's a good idea, you trying it on stage, and you going, that worked or that didn't work, and I need to tweak it or I don't need to tweak it. The reason being is if everybody was a collective and everybody talked from the day one, there would be there's already so many comedians that are so similar.
Yeah.
And I could watch it. I can go to an open mic and watch 20 something comics, and 15 of them are pretty much the same. They just go up there and they tell a joke, and based on their style, what their joke is or who they are, it doesn't matter their age, their racial demographic, or anything. Really, we all talk about some of the same stuff: our jobs, our family, our lives, our significant others or lack thereof. So we all talk about some of the same stuff, the shit we see on the news. If you're political or politically minded, maybe you're talking about the shit that's happening now. But anyway, I think you end up developing material that is unique to you. And I think that's what takes you to the next level of, one, the attrition rate for comedians. If you make it past the first year, yay. Because most people get so discouraged after, like, they start in January because my New Year's resolution is I'm going to be a stand-up comedian and I'm going to give it till about May or whatever, or I'm going to try it for a year. People somewhere about 4 months in go, I'm discouraged. I can't do this shit anymore. Fuck it. 4 or 5 months in, they end up going, yeah, fuck it. And a lot of people drop out at that point, or 6 months or whatever. You make it to the year, that's a good thing. And then if you have some actual material that is really you, that, like, when you write, even if you're just writing a story, somebody should be able to hear your voice. If somebody can hear your voice in your jokes, or even part of your voice or whatever, I've had comedians go, well, how long until you got your voice? I'm still working on my voice. I'm 16 years in. There's stuff I was saying at 1 year in that sounds very similar to today because it's me.
Yeah.
And it's an opinion, and that's how I kind of look at things.
Yeah.
And most of the time it's absurd or play on words or whatever. It's usually something over the top.
Yeah.
Like you said, an act out is usually like, I used to do this thing where I would go on stage and I would start off and go, hey, how's everybody doing? And I would start off really mellow. And by the end of my set, even if it was 3, 5, 7 minutes in, I'd be like frazzled. Like I'm going to pull my hair out. Like, oh, he started off really cool, but he's coming off stage and he looks like he wants to kill somebody or himself or pull his hair out or.
Yeah. But like, I would just admit that I'm like, I want to buy a gun and shoot myself. Well, I didn't admit that on stage, but like sometimes I will do.
But that is a common theme for comedians, suicide. Because we die for your entertainment value alone. Yeah. Yes, sir. Come on over here. He hears the kids out front. Come here.
Oh, the ballet school?
Yeah, and I was told they have a couple students that are allergic to dogs.
Oh, shit.
And I'm like, really? Because they were all playing with them, and so I don't. He told me he wanted to come today to come play with the kids because he loves the kids. But yes, he's all bummed out.
Allergic to dogs. That's crazy. How you find that you're allergic to a dog?
I guess you pet one and you sneeze.
Yeah.
Or
like you get like irritations.
I got tested, but turns out I'm not allergic to anything. And so some people are allergic to weed, which is really depressing.
Yeah, I'm starting to get that with certain strains.
With weed, yeah.
Yeah, I can smoke certain strains and it will be bunk because I can't buy too much pot at one time. Because if you end up buying, you buy $50 worth, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, this makes me get all congested and nasty.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, I just wasted $50. And so most of the time I have to find something that works for me. And then I'm like, okay, buy that one.
I'm thinking there's a difference between the weed you get in sessions and the ones that dispensaries. I'm thinking that the dispensary ones are a lot better. Like,
well, yeah, because a lot of the stuff you see at a sesh, especially if it's bulk.
Yeah.
Are you getting it in bulk or is it in a sealed container?
Well, no, it's not a sealed container.
So that's what happened. So a lot of that stuff doesn't even go through testing.
Yeah.
So we used to work. You can relax, dog. Relax. Come here. We used to work HempCon. And so one time I was there, they go, thanks for performing. Here's your pay. And they gave me a ton. They gave me like, I think there was 10 cartridges, 30 Ace or 20 Ace. There was all these different jars of edibles and all this stuff. And I was like, wow, thanks. And he goes, no problem. He goes, just to let you know, none of that stuff passed tests. I go, what do you mean? And he goes, oh, they wouldn't sell it in the cannabis club because it didn't test pure or didn't test right.
That's
And I'm like, oh, so these are edibles that I shouldn't be eating, or this is smoke I shouldn't be smoking? And they go, no, it's fine. But, you know, it's kind of like when we were smoking pot before there was cannabis clubs.
Yeah.
You look at it and smell it and go, it looks good. It smells good. I would get pot once in a while and I would see mold spores on it. People would go, oh, that's purple. A lot of the time it is purple, but that's also mold spores. You don't want to be smoking mold.
No, you don't.
Oh shit.
And so I always look at a bud before I break it up and roll it into a joint or throw it into a bowl. I make sure it's good.
Some of the edibles at sessions are really stronger than the ones you gotta.
Yeah.
Because they can't make, so you can only ingest so many. In California, you can only have so many milligrams you can buy a day. Just like when you buy flour, you can only buy an ounce of flour.
Yeah.
Same thing with edibles. I think you can only have like 150 milligrams. Some of those things at sessions, one piece is like 150 milligrams, and you got a box of them, and you're like, oh, this is killer, because they're not regulated.
I had some weed Cheetos. There was like 4 Cheetos. I puked. I puked.
You were so high.
I puked, and the next time I got it, I cut it up and put it in food. Now when I get like weed gummies, I stick it in my coffee to try and
Equal it out.
equal it out. Yeah.
Like cancel one, cancels the other.
Yeah, so it spreads it out.
What
so
made
you're
you
not-
get sick? Were you too high, or did it jack your tummy and your bowels?
I don't know if it was the food or it was the Cheetos, but yeah, like I just puked, right? And I was afraid of it. And I had a bag of weed Cheetos for like a couple weeks, and I said I'll just cut one up. There was like 4 of them. I cut it up, you know. But
You were afraid that it was going to happen again.
yeah, I didn't want to puke and stuff.
Have you ever ate too much edibles that you were too high?
Yeah, I mean it's happened.
Yeah, no, that happened to me before.
Yeah.
Like,
All right, I want to hear your story.
no, you don't want to hear it. It's just like it's like that, but like even more embarrassing. You're just like,
Yeah, you're like in Never Land.
yeah, you're somewhere else. And just,
So the only time I've ever eaten too much is where you get paranoid.
Yeah.
oh yeah, no, I got like.
Where you're like,
yeah.
everybody's looking at you. Everybody knows I just ate a cupcake that had
Yeah.
1,200 milligrams or whatever.
Yeah, you get like.
The one time I performed at one of the hemp cons, I was going to all the booths like you do. And it was right before we performed. And they gave me a little candy bar. It was this big. It looked like a little bit bigger than a Ghirardelli square.
Yeah.
You know the Ghirardelli square chocolates?
Yeah.
So it looked like one of those. Oh, that's weird. Here, I'm sorry. It was like a Ghirardelli square chocolate. It was like just slightly big. And I started eating it. And then he goes, no, you need to look at the perforations. And the outside of the package had all these little lines drawn on it. It was supposed to be like 12 doses. And I'm like, no, I'm not going to take that little. What are you supposed to do? And they go, oh, well, you're supposed to get something like, you know, like your credit card or something, or a knife, and cut the little pieces. They would have been like this big. And I'm like, how many milligrams did I just eat? And they said, oh, you ate 1,200 milligrams. So if you've ever eaten 1,200 milligrams, that's fun.
Yeah.
And then you go and perform.
I did mushrooms.
Nice.
I went to like a 3D Chinese movie in 3D, and I realized you can't even read subtitles on mushrooms. It was like I didn't even know what was happening, and I like freaked out halfway through. I was at the IMAX too in Metreon.
Which movie was it?
It was it came out like a year and a half ago. It was like a war film where they were in the middle of the earth, and they were in the middle of the earth because something was coming to crash the earth.
You don't even know the whole movie because you were so tripped out.
Yeah, I was like,
He didn't even know.
I was tripping.
So you weren't able to look at it and read it at the same time because your eyes were like gone. I'm just
couldn't
gonna
read
keep
it.
watching this.
I couldn't even. I think I bailed halfway through. I'm like,
I
And
can't do it.
I had to come back the next week just to see what the hell I was watching. You know.
And how did it differ than next week? You're like, this is the same
it was
fucking
totally
movie.
different.
Yeah.
It was totally different, like, yeah, it's not a good idea. But one time I won at the sesh. I won like a mushroom candy bar, but I thought it was weed. I just like,
Like
next
the one
thing-
you gave me.
Yeah, and next thing I know, I'm like, people are looking at. A friend of mine was looking at me. She thought like, this guy's on drugs, right?
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Yeah, because some of those, like the one you gave me, was like a brownie bite.
Yeah.
And so it was like that size by that.
Yeah,
And you eat it, and it was like 2.5 grams of mushrooms.
yeah.
Yeah. Like, this is like something that I wanted to talk about, like on stage, is that I feel like here in San Francisco, it's like so chill, and like I'm been given like everything, like free food, drinks, weed, occasionally Coke, but in Riverside. When I go back to college, like a guy's gonna ask me like, "Hey, can we split a Starbucks drink? I ran out of money on my meal plan." I'm like, "Gross."
Sure, if I can drink the first half, then I'll hand it to you.
No, not
No.
even that. Like
Not even that.
I know what like life can give me, and like
And it ain't
can't
half
give me
of your
shit.
Starbucks.
Yeah,
You could get 2 straws or something.
yeah,
Funny.
One for each of you. That way you.
yeah. I need
different
to
straws.
rework some of that. That was like a new bit I created. I was like
Uh,
these motherfuckers are like I know like what's good like in life now because of stand up, and
who's
like
giving
they don't
you
know
Coke
me.
though? It was like handing you Coke or something.
No, that's something I made up. Nobody handed
Oh
me
yeah, I
Coke.
was like, who the
Yeah,
hell is
people
giving
hand me shrooms though. I was also gonna list down like free food, drinks, weed, Coke, and then it goes like down like
Oh,
ecstasy, acid, shrooms, meth, heroin.
Oh yeah,
Bottom
just
of the line is fentanyl.
fentanyl.
Yeah,
I believe it. There's like a mushroom church in San Francisco.
No, it's in Oakland, remember?
No, they got one in San Francisco.
Oh, they
now.
do now?
Yeah, they opened up one in San Francisco too.
Oh, I bet. Is it the same place?
I think it's the same. Yeah, the same company.
Side door.
Yeah, the Zydor. They opened up one. They opened up one down here, but I don't fuck with mushrooms. I got some mushrooms at home, but
You gotta go small.
I used
doses.
to smoke mushrooms, but somebody told me
Oh, that doesn't.
that's
work
like
really
the
well.
worst thing you could do because it'll fuck up your lungs and shit.
Yeah, and it doesn't really work. I remember. I forget what concert we were at, but we were trying to smoke shrooms, and it doesn't do anything. It
Crosby, Stills, and
it
Nash.
tastes like shit. Doesn't
Jefferson
get you
Airplane.
high.
The Grateful Dead.
Doesn't even get you high like pot,
no.
let alone like mushrooms.
yeah.
So if mushrooms is not your drug, that's cool. But
Yeah.
I would also recommend if you kind of like it, but it's too much or whatever, microdose.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no, I went on shrooms and saw God, and that's when I found out that he's an asshole and a regular dude.
And a regular dude.
Yeah, he's just a regular dude. But he's like well, actually, no. When I first saw him, I was like, he's actually kind of hot. But then I'm like, he's too much of an asshole, so he stops being hot.
Would you like have sex with God though? I mean, is
No.
Is he hot like in that form of hot or what?
No, he's like a fucking Viking from like the Northman.
Okay, so the place in San Francisco is called the Living Church San Francisco.
The Living Church.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's at 1081 Post Street. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's nearby, isn't it? Yeah.
You know where it is? I
Yeah.
think I know exactly where it is. Oh my gosh. It's what Divas used to be. Do you remember Divas?
Oh yeah, Divas. Yeah.
It was up there by not the Grass Door. What is it? What's the name of the cannabis club up there that's so good on Post Street?
Yeah, there's one out there.
Uh,
Is it the California one? It's called California something. or-
No, so this one is actually Divas. I remember going to Divas like in my first year or two of comedy. And it would happen at like 11:30 at night.
Oh yeah.
And it's way up there off Polk and Post, and it was it was like a transgender bar, but then it was a tranny bar. I was trying to find the right name, but it was a cross-dressing bar.
Yeah.
And so we would go up there. As a matter of fact, I think the first person I ever did a set in that room, which was kind of cool, which is what's his name? The rollerblader.
Oh,
Franco.
oh yeah, Sammy Franco.
Sammy Franco.
Sammy Franco.
He goes, "Oh, there's an open mic after this up
Yeah.
there," and I followed him up there.
Yeah. Sammy Franco's hella
So
cool.
that now is the church, because that place was really looking kind of cool.
Yeah.
So Divas used to look like this,
Yeah.
and now it's the Living Church San Francisco,
The
and
Living
it's a
Church.
mushroom, it's a mushroom bar and church.
Somebody gave me 2 tabs of acid like a couple of years ago, and I gave a friend of mine 1 tab to try it. And I asked him the next day, I'm like, how did it go? Oh, it was pretty good, so I took it. But acid is hard to find. Like, I heard it's really hard to find people.
No,
who
you
know-
gotta get those tech bros. They have like acid, like
Yeah.
on like their fridge. Like they have probably acid in their fridge right now or, or
Oh,
some shit.
yeah.
Like you have to just go to like people with white collar jobs, cause like
Oh, yeah.
oh, I know this one guy. He has this amazing bit about like white collar workers and how they don't have a real job because they go on acid to be more productive. I'm like, if you're on acid to be more productive, you don't really have a real job. I was like, oh, that's such a good bit. But like he's great. He's amazing. And like I just feel like with a lot of these like dog drugs, just ask a white collar worker.
Oh,
Like ask
yeah.
those tech bros.
The techie bros.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just ask those tech bros. I know they're like super uncool, but like they have drugs. They gentrify drugs.
Go to like Twitter. Twitter headquarters is like 2 blocks out here.
Yeah.
That big blue building, but I guess,
Chances are like half of those motherfuckers are on acid.
but they're moving. They're like moving to Texas. Gavin Newsom pissed off Elon Musk, and now he said, "I'm moving Tesla." I don't know how they're moving Tesla because they in Fremont they build the Tesla cars, don't they? I mean, how many factories do they got? Like, how you gonna move a whole factory to Texas? But he decided that he's gonna move he's gonna move SpaceX and Tesla to Texas because the governor pissed him off.
Yeah. Don't ask me, even though I'm a political science major and I'm supposed to be knowing this and I have a fucking opinion on it. I don't really give a shit.
And I just kind of went down a wormhole anyway, because
Yeah,
I started
like,
reading
I don't
about
give a
mushrooms.
shit.
I started reading about mushrooms
Oh,
here in
yeah.
San Francisco.
Yeah. I just stopped giving a shit about
Yeah.
politics. That's what happens if you're a political science major. You stop giving a shit
Political
about the
science
world.
sucks.
Because you study the world. And I'm like, if I study about the world every day.
Wait, you're a
Yeah.
political science major?
Yeah, I'm a political science major.
And you don't want to vote?
Yeah, I don't give a shit.
Wait, something's wrong with that.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, so then you don't believe in the system.
Yeah, I just for a while I really liked this, like studying the system, right? And you see,
You
it
thought
like
it was
this-
interesting. Now you kind of find it comical
Yeah, now I find it like you could
or
be
absurd or
Yeah, just like when you get into stand up, and I do know a lot of political science majors that went into comedy for that reason. Like they saw the whole world, and it's like this is just one big joke.
Hell
It
yeah.
is, and that's kind of like at least 60s and 70s. There was a lot of political humor and people that.
With Will Durst and stuff.
Oh yeah, especially with local
Will
comedians,
Durst,
or even
yeah.
like behind you, Pat Paulson. Pat Paulson ran for president.
Yeah.
He was like one of the first ones that I remember being an entertainer and running for president, other than like Reagan.
It was Robin Williams' birthday yesterday. They had a birthday show for him at the Throckmorton.
Yeah, I know Stephen Pearl was there, right?
Yeah, but they didn't book me.
They didn't book you.
They didn't book me.
Yeah, I don't know why. Yeah,
But frankly, I don't like Mill Valley. I'm afraid of that area.
I would love to do another set at the Throck and hopefully they keep that place open. I hear that it's for sale.
I don't think they're gonna keep it open.
I would hope that someone like Dana Carvey or someone comes in and purchases it.
I don't think so because, I mean, it's like the Purple Onion. Like they Remember, somebody
They just let it go.
they let it go, and the place is the rest.
It's vacant.
Yeah,
Nobody's using it.
I mean, nobody's using it. Somebody else bought the name. In fact, Cal's owns the name where I perform Fridays now. They own the name, the Purple Onion. But I'm not, and somebody actually made the Purple Onion famous too. I mean, what's his name? Galifianakis did a Netflix special there.
Who do you think really made the Purple Onion famous?
What was Lenny Bruce?
Lenny Bruce.
No, Lenny Bruce performed at the Hungry Eye.
Oh, Bill Cosby.
No.
Yeah, like Lenny Bruce. is one
Even
of
the
my
Smothers
great-
Brothers did an album there,
No.
but yeah, but who really? So the Purple Onion was struggling at one point, and it was about to close. So if you don't know what the Purple Onion is, it's a legendary club. It was a nightclub in a old
Was it Jonathan
speakeasy.
Winters or?
It was an old speakeasy where people would
Jonathan
go and drink
Winters?
liquor when there wasn't.
Oh, it was Mort Saw.
You're still
Oh,
you're
Wait.
you're going through a laundry list of
Okay.
people. So Mort Saul's also you're getting
no,
closer.
Okay.
That woman, what's her name?
There you
That
go. The 10th name.
What was her name?
It's the 10th name he's coming
I
up with.
forgot what her
Joan
name
Rivers?
was.
No, but you're very close.
Wait, Joan Rivers. I'm close.
No, it's what was her name? She used to live in the Bay Area.
She was a mother from Marin
Yeah,
in
what was
Alameda.
her name?
She was a housewife, and she would talk about her fictitious husband, and his
Yeah.
name was Fang.
Yeah, she would dress up really ugly,
Uh-huh.
and
One of her jokes was, I tried to spice up my marriage. So
yeah.
I went out and bought a peekaboo nightie for my husband, and he peeked and booed.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so,
Well, that's
can
very
you remember
similar
who it
to
is?
Joan Rivers.
What was her name?
Big hair, crazy outfits.
Oh, Phyllis Diller.
Yay!
I remembered it because Susan Miletta's like roller derby name was Killer. No, was
It's Killer Diller or Phyllis
Killer.
Killer.
Or something.
Yeah, it was a
Yeah,
play
with
on Phyllis Diller.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Don't you feel proud that you finally figured it out?
Well,
You're a true San Francisco comedian historian.
I saw poor. I
I
saw.
got closer. I got warm.
Yeah.
Joan Rivers was close.
I saw Mort Saul and Dick Gregory in L.A. like 10 years ago perform.
I sat at a table that was smaller than this,
Yeah.
and Mort Saul was right there.
Yeah.
I had sat at a table at the Throckmorton right outside the green room, and I didn't realize it was Mort's table. And Mort came up and sat down. He goes, "How's it going, kid?" I go, "Good. How are you?" And I looked at him like, "Oh shit, that's Mort Saul."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Mort, how you doing?" And I think at that time it wasn't a fist bump, it was a shake.
Yeah.
Shook his hand. And I was actually at a play that was a one-woman show that was being done by Kelly Carlin, George Carlin's
Oh yeah.
daughter,
Yeah.
and it was called Carlin Home Companion. So it was in a break between the two, like the intermission between the two.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm sitting at this table, and I realized I'm sitting at his table, and I go, "Oh, should I?" And he goes, "No, just sit there." So I'm sitting there, and I'm like, "Holy shit!" I'm sitting next to Mort Saul, and then it couldn't get any creepier. Who comes up? Robin.
Yeah.
Robin comes up and starts talking to us, and starts talking about the thing we just saw.
Yeah.
And he goes, "Oh, isn't that crazy?" Because we had just something about the one scene where she left it at the intermission was she was basically trying to explain that even though at that time she was like 12 or 13 years old, she felt like the parent, and that she was parenting both George and Brenda Carlin because they were doing drugs and doing their own thing, and she was the adult. She had to grow up quicker. And so
They didn't share it with her daughter, the drugs.
no, they did not. And so I remember Robin coming up and telling Mort, saying basically that, and I'll put the camera on me,
Are you
that they told
Yeah.
Robin told Mort about, wasn't that a trip? Wasn't that kind of crazy what we just saw? And Mort said, yeah. And I kind of, oh yeah, or something like that. And he goes, I was told another story by Kelly, and it's not in the play. And it was basically that, I guess in their New York apartment for Christmas one year, they had this beautiful Christmas tree and it was decorated and everything. And Kelly wanted to go show her friends, her kid friends next door, the neighbors, their Christmas tree because it was so pretty. And mom and dad said, no, you can't show them the Christmas tree because the Christmas tree was a pot plant that they had decorated.
Pretty bad.
And so Robin Williams is telling both me and Mort all this story.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is crazy. I felt like, just like, I can't believe I'm here.
Well, you know, Robin used to kick it with. He was supposed to kick it with John Belushi the night he died.
He did. He was
did?
with him that night.
Oh yeah.
He left. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
And then he sobered up and stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
He should have.
Robert
been
De Niro
out.
was there that night too, apparently.
Oh, Robert
Really?
De Niro.
That's crazy.
I think Eddie Murphy said he was.
There was multiple people that were there, but I know that De Niro was one of them and Robin was one of them.
Yeah, at the Chateau Marymount. and
Yeah.
stuff. Right near the comedy
Chateau
store.
Marmont.
Near the comedy store.
Yeah. So I was actually at the comedy store and then I went, was it the Roxy's next door?
Yeah,
The Roxy's
Rock-
next door. So then I went to wherever the little restaurant is above the bar.
yeah.
And they go, oh, you know, this is where John Belushi had his last meal. And I'm like, what? And they go, yeah, he ate his meal here and then went to the Chateau Marmont. And
Yeah, because
died.
they had a private club up on the rocks. Yeah,
That was it. On the rocks.
on the rock. Remember the Rainbow Bar and Grill? The Rainbow. I got booted out of the Rainbow. We were smoking weed in the bathroom.
Have you done any of these LA things before, Alex? Any of the stuff we're talking about? I know we kind of trailed off on you. I'm sorry.
Oh no, it's okay. It's like this is very fascinating because like I said, I just turned 21. So
Yeah.
And even you a new comic, so some of the stuff's kind of neat. But you know some of these names. You know who Robin Williams is or was, and then
Yeah, my friend and I, we were smoking weed in the Rainbow, which is like a big druggy joint.
right.
The security came and
This is in
got us,
LA on Sunset
and
Strip.
he grabbed me he like twisted my boob, and it hurt so bad. I've never had anybody twist my boob.
We're gonna call this the boob episode. By
And
the way.
he got me out of the
just
place.
like I brought up my boobs and then now like everything's
Yeah,
like boob themed.
but then it's like this place is famous for drug use. Why are they kicking us out for smoking weed in the bathroom? But yeah, I got boob.
Yeah, because your smelly pot is gonna get us busted for
guess
our
so.
non-smelly cocaine.
I guess so, but I'm like, the guy just grabbed my boob and twisted it. I was like, what the hell's going on here?
Yeah, we're known for other kinds of drugs that you can kind
Yeah.
of keep on the DL.
Yeah, every documentary I hear about this place, they're like, I'm in my.
I'm doing lines of coke on the
We're doing
table, kind of
coke.
thing.
They were sucking my dick while I was eating dinner. And I'm
Right.
like, this is the place.
But
that
yeah,
they
you
boot
light up
me
a
out.
joint and they pull you out.
This is the place I get booted out of. Like all this crazy shit, and they boot me out. Yeah.
It's funny.
They
And they always
booted
treat
me
us
out,
pot smokers
yeah.
like we're the ones that's on an upper or crazy.
Maybe
We're the ones that are
We should
chill.
have been outside. I don't know.
Yeah,
what we
like we're super chill. Well,
I don't
except
know.
me, I feel like whatever I'm on, I'm still always like super
yeah.
energetic.
And
That's-
so then sativa's maybe not your friend because you're
Yeah.
Sativa?
No, I
You
I
like
like a
indica?
natural sativa. Like just like I
yeah.
walk in and I'm like, I'm here.
so that could be so that's why I like smoking pot before I go on stage, as long as it's not indica, as long as it's not too much, because I'm very stimulated. I'm very upbeat. I'm very loud. I'm very boisterous, and a little bit of pot adds to it.
Yeah.
And so I don't mind being that way, as long as I don't forget my material.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but like I one time like took an edible and I was like, oh my god, I don't think I can perform to the host, and they're like, I'll give you like 5 minutes. I literally did so well. And here's the thing, it was like 3 people in the room, or no, like maybe 4, and they were all high because it was a weed bar,
Right.
and I did so well. I don't know how,
Oh
but I
yeah.
did really
Because you were probably
well because I calmed down a little bit.
and they could probably relate to you, and you could relate to them
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
because you were high, they were high.
How old were you the first time you smoked weed?
I was like 16.
Oh yeah. I was 19. I made it through high school without smoking weed. Nobody
So I
shared weed with
smoked
me.
pot once when I was like 15-ish, and then I didn't smoke again for like another year or something.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, because the first time I ever smoked it, I took a hit and somebody it basically got somebody in trouble because I took a hit.
Uh,
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, okay. But so anyway, yeah, that was interesting. Yeah.
I miss those days where I used to
It was
call my
14.
friend up, like, you got some weed. I would buy weed. I didn't know the name of it. I didn't know what type of weed it was. It was just shitty weed. That's when people start lecturing me about, like, how can you smoke shitty weed? I'm like, I started smoking shitty weed.
What year was that? That was
This
when
is
there was
90, 91, 91.
So
I
when
was in
I first
JUCO.
smoked, there was nothing but shitty weed. There was brown
Yeah.
weed.
We always thought our weed came from Mexico for some reason.
A lot of our shit did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They came
But now,
from,
like, people just grow it in their backyard and probably had
Yeah.
Right, but we had brown, what they called Bammer for a long time. It
Yeah,
was
the
brown,
Bammer weed.
brown
The
weed,
weed.
lots of seeds, tie stick, stuff like that.
Yeah. People, I used to buy cheap weed, and somebody's like, somebody told me don't smoke the seeds because, like, it kills
Yep.
your sperm. And I'm like, I'm not trying to get anybody pregnant. But then I used to smoke the seeds, and
Give you a
then,
headache.
then somebody like complained, like, I can smell a seed in here. I'm like, fuck. But now the weed I get, I mean, if you get good weed, there's no seeds in there because
Because it's all been
it's all.
it's multi generations of pot. It's like
Yeah.
the 20th generation of gelato
Yeah.
or something, and so you're looking at something that.
The seeds are valuable at that point too,
Right.
and stuff. Yeah,
So if you find a seed, it's like ooh. hold on.
yeah. But
Yeah,
back-
because they've been genetically engineered out of the pot.
yeah. But these days, back in the day, you would buy seeds.
Or
You-
you buy a bag and it would be full of
did-
seeds.
Yeah, you didn't know if it was male seeds or female seeds because the female seeds are the only ones that have THC. The female plants.
So
right?
no, so hold on. So you're kind of close. So if a plant seeds, it's a male plant. When you take those seeds and you plant each one into the ground, it has a chance of being a male or a female.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Once it comes to the one, once you find out if it's a male or a female, if it's a male, you get rid of it, especially if it's near any other male plants or any other female plants, because you can have a male plant here and a female plant there, and they could cross pollinate and it will fuck up both plants.
Yeah, I used to have a joke about
You want to
that.
smoke females.
That women decided
them
that
out.
Smoke it.
men
Smoke
shouldn't
'em
be able to
out.
smoke weed because it's female. Like
Yes.
you gotta ask permission if you want to smoke some female weed. Like, it's female.
Yeah,
you know?
like they take consent very seriously.
Yeah, you have to
Or
you have to
talk
get
to one of their
consent.
girlfriends.
Yeah, like no. Feminists decided men can't smoke weed this year. Like, oh my god. But these days you buy seeds, it's all female. Like, I mean, all the guesswork is taken out of all this stuff. But I've never grown a plant in my life. Have you grown? You haven't grown weed.
No,
either, have you?
I live in an apartment, dog.
Oh
like,
yeah.
Oh, but I do know like this one chick who like grows like shrooms in her apartment. That's
Oh
yeah.
Eh,
Like she made a business out of selling shrooms
Oh,
to
yeah.
college kids. I was like, that's dope.
Yeah, you can grow mushrooms. I know
Yeah, you
people-
can grow them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know people who grow mushrooms and stuff.
Yeah, I got some
I don't
nice
know.
mushrooms. I go, what are these? And they were big, white, beautiful mushrooms. And I'm like, wow, they don't look all nasty, dry, whatever.
But
Anyway,
like, I don't know how you grow that in an apartment. Like with
it's
like,
real easy. You
Yeah,
just
yes.
you just need a fish tank.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
a fish tank and stuff.
Fish
yeah.
tank and the right stuff.
Yeah.
That's
and,
a lot of light.
in some cities, it's like they decriminalize mushrooms. They didn't legalize it.
Alameda is decriminalized. Apparently, San Francisco. I was just reading that article that they didn't know what to do in San Francisco because it's a church, and so politicians in San Francisco were like, "I don't know what we're doing. What can we do? It's a church." And so they were doing the same thing as Oakland was, which is okay. I guess we have to recognize it.
Yeah.
And so Alameda, San Francisco, and
Oakland.
Oakland. Well, and then LA counties, it's
Yeah.
legal.
Mm.
So
I think in Oakland they decriminalized mushrooms, acid. I think even Molly got DMT. The only thing that didn't, the only thing that's illegal in California are the Newport cigarettes.
yeah,
The Newport,
exactly.
the Newport. When you go to a sesh, the only thing that's illegal are the Newports.
They have DMT vapor pens.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Watch out.
They got DMT. I've never done DMT though.
I've done it in a vapor pen, and
Uh,
I did just a little to see what happened, and yeah, it wasn't. Yeah, okay.
Have you done like MDMA?
Yeah, but yeah, but like Molly,
Yeah.
that's what Molly is. So
Yeah.
yeah, back in the day, sure, that was when it was good.
I did some
Oh,
Molly.
someone
that I
made
even-
it. Like I know people who like.
Yeah, all those are
Yeah.
synthetic drugs.
Yeah.
They're
I
made in
heard
a
it's
lab.
hard. I heard it's hard to get good stuff these days.
Well, everything
The
is.
Molly.
Everything has been cut down, but it's funny because some drugs are coming in pretty pure.
Yeah,
But you gotta get, like I said, go to those white tech bros because they
that's what I'm saying.
Like tech
white
bros.
tech
Hang out on
bros,
Twitter. Or
Yeah,
something.
the new
they can hook you up for no fucking reason. Like it's weird. Like
the
I
new
don't-
stuff on the street is called Elon.
yeah.
Elon.
No, and all of his cronies just ask some of them. They'll probably give you it.
Yeah, these techies are big time. They're big time drug users. the
Yeah,
techies and
exactly. Like
stuff,
I
yeah.
feel like if I'm now, I feel like I associate drug users with tech bros because they just go on acid to
Yeah,
like code and shit, you know. And I'm like, these fucking motherfuckers.
that's true. I grew up in Silicon Valley. I'm a
Yeah.
Silicon Valley brat. My dad was an engineer and stuff.
Yeah, so I fucking hate him.
You hate my dad?
Yeah,
Did you just
just
say
by default, I fucking hate.
no? My dad, he's not an engineer anymore. But
Okay,
that's funny.
I
that you-
hate it a little bit less now.
That's right. But I mean, this
Still
is
hate it,
Silicon Valley. How you gonna hate the tech bros?
I know. I walk around and I just like I smell them. I have hatred in my heart. So I
Oh,
don't give a
yeah.
fuck.
But you're on the internet all the time. I mean, don't you realize like you got it? You kind of need that world.
Yeah, exactly. I think I hate them more because of that.
You're
you know?
addicted to that and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you
Ugh.
even know how to write cursive? Did they teach you cursive when you were in school? Or
I
are you
think
from that?
so,
Are you
but-
from that generation? They didn't even teach you how to write cursive or something.
No, I was. They taught me, but I didn't care.
Oh
I was
yeah.
like, I think this is irrelevant in a couple of days, in like a couple of years.
Yeah, I'm a really bad like my cursive is sloppy like yeah,
Yeah.
I hate that shit.
So, what day and time is your show?
It's sign-ups at 5, starts at 5:30.
It's every
5:30 on Fridays,
Yeah.
Friday.
and it's at the Question Mark Bar, 312 Harriet Street, San Francisco.
Yep.
Cool.
It used to be named something else, but then they like changed it. So this is like a new name and a new owner, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, it used to be like something different.
Where else are you performing? What else are you doing?
I don't know. I'm trying to get booked into like shows and stuff, but I go to like open mics like almost every day of the week.
What's your favorite open mic?
Definitely Mars Bar.
Mars Bar, where's that at?
Mars Bar is on Wednesday. It's pretty good.
No, where is it?
It's at like Brennan Street.
Is that Lauren Crack? Is it Lauren?
Yeah.
Oh, Lauren Kraut.
Yeah, the one with Lauren.
Oh yeah. She's like what 60? She's up there, isn't she? Like,
Yeah, she's.
Why are you looking at me? Because I'm up there.
Yeah.
I know.
I'm like.
I'm wondering if she's older or younger than you. That's what I'm looking at.
Oh, thanks. I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm a young guy.
That's
All
like-
right. So I'm going to read this story to you. This is what we were just talking about. It's about magic mushroom churches are setting up shop in San Francisco,
Yeah.
giving residents the ability to buy illegal hallucinogenic drugs at a storefront location. And for now, at least the city's politician and agencies don't know how to respond. At least 2 churches selling magic mushrooms seem to have opened in the city this year. Well, there's Zydor in Oakland organization, and expanded. Oh, and it expanded into San Francisco
Yeah.
with a Soma location in April. There's also the Living Church. So there's another Zydor here.
But isn't that
But then the Living Church is not located with them, and that's up there in
That's
the
Hayes-
Lower Knob Hill.
isn't there one on Haight Street that sells mushrooms? Though?
Yeah, that's the Zydor one.
Oh, that's a Zydor.
Right. And they're
Oh.
saying the one that's up, they call it Lower Knob Hill. So it's
Oh.
below Knob Hill, above the Tenderloin. What do we call it? The Tender Knob.
The tender knob. Yeah.
The Tender Knob.
Yeah.
So let me see here.
Yeah, on Haight Street, there's a place.
Go
There's a place out there that sells
The
mushrooms.
church openings come after a Haight Street storefront was raided in December of last year on suspicion of selling magic mushrooms. The store's owner was charged with 3 felonies
Oh,
related and alleged sales, leading to the condemnation from Supervisor Dean Preston, whose district includes the Haight-Ashbury.
Oh, how you do that? Your district represents Haight-Ashbury. You should be pro drugs.
You
right?
should be pro mushrooms.
pro
Yeah,
mushrooms.
you should be pro.
You should be
everything.
pro mushrooms, pro marijuana.
Um,
Even though it's an hallucinogen, it is a higher rate. As long as you're using stuff
Yeah.
safely
Yeah.
and you're an adult and you know what the hell you're doing.
I know people are on mushrooms all the time now.
yeah, they're those white tech bros. That's what I'm saying.
There are psychiatrists that are prescribing low amounts.
Oh, ketamine,
microdoses.
like ketamine.
Oh, even people going in for ketamine shots.
Oh
I
yeah.
don't know about getting a ketamine
I
shot.
don't think I've ever been.
Can you
on
just put it right in my
ketamine.
keister, please?
Yeah.
I've never been on ketamine. What the hell is ketamine like?
Yeah. So they used to call it Special K.
Oh yeah, Special K. Yeah.
So ketamine, that's one drug I've not done.
Yeah.
But apparently it's like cocaine.
Oh really? I was like, what? Is that stuff legal or?
Yes, and apparently a lot of people that's the one that people like boofing. You know what boofing is?
Oh yeah, you stick it up your ass.
Yeah.
Not that I've ever done that.
Yeah.
No, not at all.
You can't put weed up your ass, can you?
Well, you can. You can put anything up your ass.
Yeah.
It's not that it's going to do anything. You can put a light bulb up there, but it's not going to shine your way through a tunnel.
I know somebody used to use a light bulb to smoke drugs out of like meth and shit. I
Oh,
thought it was
like that's
joke.
their glass pipe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I was up in Vancouver, Washington, which is near Portland, like I went to a dispensary, they were giving out little like pipes. It was like cheap ass pipes, and I had it in my backpack and it broke. And I didn't know it. I was at the airport. I put my hand and I cut myself and I started bleeding. And I'm like, how am I gonna get on the plane? I'm bleeding like crazy and stuff.
And what was it?
It was like a little glass pipe that broke. It was cheap and it like broke, and it was like I had a bunch of glass in my backpack. Didn't even realize
Like,
it.
boo!
But
Yeah,
my
if
hand.
if I saw you, I would just be like, I know it's him. Boo!
Yeah, so I put some paper and then to hide, and finally it stopped bleeding, and I had my hand in like my pocket when I was walking into the plane because I didn't want them to think like I'm all bleeding and shit. They're not gonna let me on the plane if I'm bleeding and stuff. But
Okay, we were just talking about this earlier also.
Yeah.
This groundbreaking study cracks one of pot's greatest mysteries. Okay. A mystery has been lingering over cannabis for nearly as long as people have been smoking pot. Do different types of marijuana get people high in different ways?
that's a yes, isn't it?
You should do that study on theater kids.
Or-
California cannabis companies already have the answer to this question, claiming each strain of pot has different terpenes,
yeah.
a type of aromatic compound produced by all plants. And these aromas cause pot to have different effects. But scientists say there's almost no scientific basis to support the theory. So that's basically like even saying, is there a difference on how indica treats you versus sativa treats you.
Well, yeah, I mean it's different.
Right. And in the
Yeah.
terps, sometimes like terps, people will even go, oh, this has a little bit of nutmeg or hints of
Yeah.
some other like
CBD or
lavender or
THCA or something.
well, they talk about terpenes even when you're not talking about terpenes in marijuana. They talk about terpenes when you and what's the other word for it? Oh, when you drink like tannins. So when you drink wine, you go, oh, that's very earthy. It has kind of almost like a fungus kind of taste. Is that truffles or whatever? And so they can tell what else was in that dirt other than that that wine vine.
Yeah.
And so same thing applies when you're growing anything in dirt. Even I guess potatoes or lettuce or carrots, those have terpenes in them.
I had no idea weed had expiration dates.
Sure, it does.
I mean, it's a vegetable. It makes sense, right? But
Right. And if I can show you some pot right now that you wouldn't even want to make into a tea bag, I don't think, because it's so dry.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's what you end up doing. If it's so dry and so nasty, you just put it in a tea bag and you make it your tea.
Make it out of tea, yeah.
Or throw it in your brownie mix and hope it works.
Yeah, I try and tell these people like what the weed I used to smoke back in the day when I first got started. Like you couldn't even sell this type of shit in a dispensary. Nobody would buy it.
No, it's so nasty.
Yeah, I'm like, you know. Yeah,
No, it was horrible.
it was crazy, but yeah, we used to call up like, bring us some weed at Santa Monica. Like, I went to Santa Monica College.
Oh.
I should have.
You've been through a lot of colleges.
Well, no, it's a junior college.
Okay.
Santa Monica College is a junior college, but I think if I had to do it over, I would have told my parents just to buy property instead of paying for my college loans. Because it would have been better just to buy some property in my name and shit. You know, because now I owe a bunch of college loans, but I don't think I owe college loans, but you know, but Biden said he refused to pay for my college loans
Oh.
because I went to Trump University and stuff. So he's like, "Fuck you." I was like, "What?"
Yeah, you're like, whoa, I just fell for the propaganda. Like,
Hell
please
yeah.
spare me.
Was that even a real university, Trump University?
I don't think so. I know a lot of people want their money back. That's all I know.
Hell yeah! Did
Yeah.
they give out degrees or? Can you
I don't know,
imagine?
but if like someone gave me like, hey, I have a degree in Trump University, I'll be like, so you're a dumbass. Not because like you like were in it, because like you believed that it was good in the first place. I was
Yeah.
like, you're a dumbass.
I wonder how many years that thing lasts at Trump University.
But then like I can always like if they ever like scold me for anything, I'll be like, I'm a political science major.
Oh yeah.
So I use that card always to get out of things. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Oh yeah.
But then when they ask me what are your political views, I say I don't give a shit. So then they're like, well, are you really a political science
Well, you know,
major?
Kamala's from this area, isn't she? Kamala.
Yeah, she's from Oakland.
I know. I saw her ex-boyfriend on TV the other day. Was it Willie Brown? Or...
Oh, jeez.
No.
Yeah.
Willie Brown's just too excited. Like, yeah, I banged the president. Goddamn. No, you banged the vice president. You didn't bang the
He
president.
wasn't dating her.
He was dating her, dude.
Really?
Oh hell yeah! How you think?
Really?
How you think she got connected in the first place?
That's crazy.
I'm telling you, Google it. Like they didn't even admit it to. Willie Brown is really, actually the other guy. I
Willie
think,
Brown's in that picture on the back on the right.
oh yeah.
He's standing next to Will Durst, and matter of fact, London Breed's all the way to the left before she was mayor.
Yeah, they used to do a podcast together, Will Durst and
And
Willie
they still
Brown.
do. It's called the Will and Willie Show.
They still do it. Where's
Yes.
it at? I don't
They were doing it from a facility, and I want to say it was the because Will is still in
He's been there
He's
for
still
a
in a
couple of years.
rehab. Yeah, because he had a stroke. What,
Is-
2 years ago?
Is he like doing better?
Yeah,
or-
he's doing way better.
Oh, that's good.
So yeah, he's actually going through physical rehab for like his arm, I believe.
You think we'll ever see him on stage again?
Yeah, because he actually performed. I want to say he's already performed one place.
Because I used to go to his New Year's Eve shows. Remember, they had a big New Year's Eve shows thing.
I love Will Durst because
Yeah.
we were just talking about political humor. He's one of the ones. When I see things like we're going through in this country, it's like, oh, where are the people that speak truth to power?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's not many of them because everybody goes, oh, we start doing political jokes and people get turned off. Yeah, you'll lose half your room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You better play political jokes like you play relationship jokes. If you're a
Yeah.
guy, you don't go on stage and go, hey guys, aren't women bitches? Because then half the rooms, all the women in the room are like, fuck this guy.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
you go up there and you go, hey folks, relationships are crazy, don't they?
Oh,
And you
yeah.
go into it that way. You don't divide the room, but you go into a room and you start telling political jokes, you divide it
Yeah.
right down
Yeah.
the middle.
But,
And
like,
so
you have to be able to bring your political jokes, like bring people together with.
you
Facebook
got to
is
be
like a
able to make
nightmare.
jokes about both sides.
Yeah.
Facebook is like a nightmare with all the political stuff going on. Like, you know,
Well,
half-
insult humor. You were just when we were talking about
Yeah,
Don
insult.
Rickles and stuff
Yeah.
like so insult humor is great if the comedian does it well.
yeah.
And so Don Rickles would go out and he would hit every demographic in the room
Mhm.
and then he would double down on himself,
yeah.
making everybody feel like, "Oh, okay, if he's going to make fun of all of us, at least he's making twice as much fun of himself."
That's
Yeah.
what I do. I make fun of the Polacks. Yeah.
Like the most I've ever gone with political humor is like I made fun of K-pop fans because they love black music without black people in it, and that was like the only joke I kind of made about.
But that's
K-pop.
not really political.
Yeah, it's not really political. I try not to.
That's
like-
more racial. That's
that-
almost
Yeah.
even like
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I know some people, like, since you're Asian, a lot of people won't want to play on their Asian ethnicity.
Yeah.
I play on being a white guy all the time
Yeah, no,
just
I
because
play
it's
on
funny.
it, but like I play on like like being Asian, like my upbringing and all of that. Like my mother, I bring up my mother for being a bitch, but I never like try to do like stuff that people might just expect of me to do, like massages. Like, I
Oh,
don't
okay.
bring
So
that up.
like,
Oh,
okay.
because you're
Yeah, like stereotypes.
So it's like
Yeah.
when you used to see a Filipino comedian on stage. No, I'm not a nurse
Yeah.
during the
Ah.
day.
Nah, not
What
a
else?
Yeah.
Not the stereotypical stuff.
nah.
Not always. Yeah.
Yeah, like I have a friend that's a comedian that's Asian, and she really, really plays on being an Asian, and it works for her.
Mhm.
That's fine. I mean, I wouldn't be. We were just talking about that earlier. It's not like I can make Asian jokes,
Yeah.
and so, or I could. I guess I can make them, but they're not. I'm not gonna be able to pull off Asian jokes.
I know.
Yeah. You have to go with the angle of like I want them.
Well, that's why even like I was
Yeah.
like I could make fun of myself being a middle-aged white guy because who else better to do it than a middle-aged white guy?
Oh yeah. Well, my neighbor upstairs is Korean, and like she complains about my weed, and I'm like, well, I don't complain about you eating kimchi all day, smelling up the neighborhood. Or is that racist?
Yeah.
Some people, you can't even talk about Asian people eating dogs anymore. They find that offensive.
Even
I-
my dog feels that and finds that offensive. Well, I was
Yeah.
just thinking about there's a joke there about kimchi because they ferment. So you know what kimchi is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
I don't know.
it's fermented cabbage, right?
Yeah.
And they used to take the cabbage with other stuff and bury it in the ground
Yeah.
to ferment it. So that'd be great if because people actually do that with pot sometimes. They'll bury it with like banana peels.
Yeah.
That's what they used to do to make it taste better. Like if it was really shitty pot,
Ugh,
they would kind of like, and you wouldn't want it to mold,
no.
but you would want it to taste like a little bit like banana or orange peel. So you'd bury it.
Yeah, you know, that's the other thing is the outdoor weed doesn't smell as good as indoor weed. Anytime I can smell the weed really good, I know it's indoor. Like outdoor just doesn't have the same effect, you know.
So outdoor weed, if it's grown better, will get you higher because the THC is actually higher sometimes, but also sometimes so is hydroponic. You're talking about when you're talking about indoor weed, you're most of the time you're talking about hydroponic. It's not grown in
Hydroponic.
soil.
Nah.
It's grown in rocks and water.
Yeah.
And they add things like bat guano and stuff like that for nutrients.
Bat guano.
And they're usually flavors like, guava and mango and all these things. So it really tastes good. And matter of fact, they can even dial in the terpenes like the limonene and all those other terps so that it tastes that way. And has the outside kind of citrusy or piney or whatever they're looking for in that thing. They can add the terps to it.
One of my friends used to have a bunch of toads. Got toad. What was the toad? Was it the toad that has is it DMT that the toad has or?
Oh yeah, that it has the chemical that almost kills you. It's like a poison. Yeah, it's the toad.
Yeah, he used to have a bunch of toads in his apartment, and he would have a bunch of crickets to feed the toad. But it was like really weird. I mean, it was just weird. Like that's just enough. That's a
Is
crazy.
it about toad licking?
Yeah, the toad licking thing. He never let me lick
You're
the
looking
toad.
like what? I've never heard
Yeah,
of this.
I'm like, I'm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so certain frogs have a toxin.
Is
Okay.
it frog? It's not toad. It's a frog or.
And it's a type of frog. It's
Yeah.
a toad. It's a whatever. It's the kind they use to get they excrete whatever and they
Yeah.
put it on darts. So when they
Yeah.
shoot you, you can die or get
He
knocked
didn't let
out.
me. He didn't let me lick any of his frogs. You know, I was really upset with him, man.
Didn't let me lick one of
Let me lick your frog.
He probably was like, you better ask him first. Mr. Frog, can I lick you?
Yeah,
Yeah, I think
Consent.
Consent.
that was the weirdest thing I've ever seen. Dude. Like just, he had a bunch of them, but it was smelly. And I think he lives in a studio in the city too. And
Really? And you can smell the.
well, no, inside, but yeah, because you got crickets. I mean, you got all kinds of shit in there. These are, yeah, I mean, you got to keep them alive and stuff. It was just weird, but it was like the most bizarre thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, I heard that's how people like get high, and I'm like, yeah, I wouldn't be licking on a frog.
Well, looking at the frog and stuff.
All right, so what do you guys got going? We're gonna get close to there, so let's do those plugs and socials and all those good things.
I got
Yeah.
Kel's Friday,
Hell yeah, I got.
North Beach.
I'm hosting an open mic every Friday. At Question Mark Bar. It's in Harriet Street. So.
Do you get drink?
What is that
tickets?
address on Harriet Street?
Oh yeah, it's 312 Harriet Street, San Francisco.
Do they got drink tickets? Do you?
No, I get one. You don't.
You don't.
You don't.
Do they even? They don't give you free drink tickets.
They give
for-
her a free drink ticket.
Oh,
Yeah, you
Shit.
don't get one.
So but that's every Friday. Sign-ups are at 5:30, 312 Harriet Street, San Francisco. You got Kells. So that always happens in the beginning. When you negotiate with a bar or venue, you go in there and you go, okay. But you better ask, don't go in going, oh, I don't know. We'll figure this out. We'll talk about it in a month or two and see what you're going to pay me. So either you go up right up front and say, hey, I can bring you business to your bar and this is what I expect. And this is what you can give me. But at the very least, you go, I'd like a drink ticket for everybody that performs.
No, I just like it wasn't something that like we really negotiated.
No, you just kind of,
I just did it.
you just got the time. You just wanted
Yeah.
the stage time. And in the beginning, that's all we all want. We just want stage time. We don't need the pay. We just need the workout.
How many people show up for the open mic?
Like around 10 to 12. Yeah, I got like 12 at one point. I was like, this is awesome.
How long does it last? Like 2 hours or?
Yeah, like around 2 hours.
You give them 5 minutes?
Yeah, I give them 5.
Yeah. About an hour and a half, 2 hours.
Yeah. Yeah. At first, I was like, should I make it later? And I was like, nope. People want here for free food, or like not free food, but like free wings, not free wings,
So they
like
got
cheap
free.
wings.
Did you say free wings?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Now he's coming. He's like, fuck the drinks. I'll go there for the wings.
No, it's like really cheap. It's like happy hour, so like $11.
Uh,
$11.
yeah, Kels,
Not
they
free.
give us drink tickets, but the bartender doesn't like to give out free Red Bulls. He's like, what about an IPA?
No.
How about a beer, damn it?
Yeah, because those are cheaper.
The
for
Red
them.
Bulls are expensive, but I'm like, oh.
Because they don't get a break on energy drinks half the time,
Yeah.
especially if they're Red Bull.
Yeah.
If there's something like Viper or whatever it's called.
The
or,
Viper. Yeah, the
no,
Viper.
something like that. Yeah, you're going to get it cheap. But if it's Red Bull, it's top dollar.
Mhm.
All right, so we're getting there. How close are we?
It's July. It's disabled. It's disabled month. Is it disability month? But I
Yeah.
don't even get booked for disability month. What's up with that?
You should get that.
What's up with that? My only month, you know.
It's like saying, why don't I get booked for Pride?
Well, I know you got a rat tail. They should book you for Pride.
Well, you should, because I'm proud of my rat tail.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so where do we catch everything you do?
On Instagram, I'm also making a couple of TikTok skits, but it's the same.
What's your
As your
TikTok?
Instagram down
yeah,
below?
Yeah, it's the same as my
Oh
Instagram.
yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
I have a TikTok, but I never use it. Like it's annoying.
I need to start doing that here, because even if I just hang it up from our light right there, see how it has a phone holder?
Oh,
Start
yeah.
doing TikToks that way or something.
Yeah.
But all right, until next week.
Yep.
Thank you for being on. You're not gonna put us in your movie, or
No.
why not? You can kill.